Right now, somewhere in the world, there is someone sitting quietly, engulfed in silence. This person is not okay. They are trapped in a state of confusion, unable to articulate the turmoil within. They feel paralyzed, stuck in their own mind, endlessly replaying a painful memory that haunts them. Despite their efforts to move forward, something relentless pulls them back, trapping them in what is known as a trauma loop. This phenomenon has been identified by modern science as one of the toughest patterns to break. Yet, what many are unaware of is that this struggle is not new. It has been felt for millennia. 3,000 years ago, ancient poets recognized this profound pain and created a system to address it. They devised a structured approach embedded in sacred songs known as lament psalms. These psalms served as blueprints for expressing grief and sorrow, providing a pathway for healing. Remarkably, the framework of these ancient expressions aligns closely with the insights provided by modern neuroscience regarding recovery from trauma. Today, we will embark on a journey together through this ancient wisdom and its modern implications. We will dissect the architecture of lament, exploring how these poetic expressions can help rewire our nervous systems and promote emotional healing. We will uncover the emotional resonance within these laments that still holds truth in our contemporary experiences of pain and trauma. By understanding this ancient practice, we can gain valuable tools to address our own feelings of entrapment and distress. This isn't merely historical reflection, it's an invitation to experience something transformative. Throughout this exploration, we will find that lament isn't just an expression of sadness, it's a powerful release, a vital acknowledgement of pain that can lead to healing. Each lament psalm follows a distinct structure that mirrors the emotional journey one undergoes while dealing with grief and trauma. They begin with an honest cry, a lament to the universe, expressing the depths of sorrow they feel. This is not an act of despair but rather a brave confrontation with their pain. Following this initial expression, the psalms progress to a plea for help, highlighting the desire for understanding and support. This transition is crucial. It represents a shift from isolation to seeking connection, a vital step in breaking the shackles of trauma. Next, the psalms often recount the artist's history, reminding themselves of past strengths and moments of resilience. This retrospective view not only validates their current feelings but also reinforces the notion that healing is possible. It connects them with a sense of identity and continuity, which is fundamental in the journey of recovery. Finally, the structure culminates in expressions of trust or hope, often invoking faith, whether in a higher power or in the process of healing itself. This conclusion is not merely about optimism, it is a decisive reclamation of agency and belief in a future beyond suffering. By recognizing and integrating these emotional stages, individuals can create their own modern lament, a personal ritual to acknowledge and process their pain. Through writing or sharing, they can articulate their feelings, transforming their trauma into a narrative of resilience. This practice encourages vulnerability and fosters connections with others who may share similar experiences. Today, as we reflect on these ancient lament psalms, we open a door to a profound method of coping that bridges historical wisdom with contemporary understanding. These sacred songs remind us that pain is a universal human experience, one that can bind us together rather than isolate us. By engaging with the structure of lament, we can begin to unravel the trauma loops that ensnare us, paving a way for healing that is rich with purpose. So stay with me as we delve deeper into this exploration. Together, we will uncover the transformative power of lament and how it can provide relief in our modern lives, reshaping how we approach pain forever. This journey may very well offer you the keys to unlock your own path to healing, transforming silence into a melody of recovery and resilience. Modern trauma feels distinct from the pain experienced in the past, largely due to silence. Historically, pain was expressed vocally. People came together in moments of grief, sharing laments and stories around fires, engaging in rituals that honored their suffering. This collective expression of pain allowed it to flow outwards, creating a sense of community and shared experience. However, today's landscape is vastly different. Many individuals endure their struggles in isolation, scrolling through social media to maintain an appearance of normalcy, all the while concealing their true feelings. They don smiles at work and in public, masking the turmoil inside, often out of fear of being a burden to others. This suppression leads to a troubling consequence. Bottled pain does not simply dissipate. Instead, it burrows underground, manifesting in the body as various forms of tension, chronic fatigue, and anxiety. Trauma therapists refer to this phenomenon as a wordless frozen state, where the nervous system becomes locked in survival mode, unable to articulate or express the pain it harbors. The crux of the issue is not that individuals are broken or overly sensitive, but rather that their pain lacks a proper container, a means to be voiced and processed. In ancient times, lament psalms served as those containers. They provided structure, language, and community for pain, lending an outlet that facilitated healing. As we delve into the sections ahead, we will explore how this ancient wisdom can be applied to modern life, offering pathways to transform isolated suffering into a more communal, expressive experience. By understanding the importance of giving pain a voice, we can begin to dismantle the silent loop that so many find themselves trapped in today. Healing starts with acknowledging and articulating our feelings, rather than suppressing them. Just as our ancestors shared their sorrows in the presence of others, we can reclaim this practice in contemporary settings. Reconnecting with our emotions and expressing them openly can help release the burdens we carry inside. This process may involve finding supportive communities, whether online or in person, where vulnerability is encouraged and shared. Engaging in creative outlets such as writing, music, or art can also serve as modern lamentations, allowing for personal expression and connection to others through shared experiences. Another vital aspect is to recognize that pain, when voiced, can foster empathy and understanding within communities. When people share their struggles, it humanizes their experiences, allowing others to relate, support, and offer compassion. This can dismantle the stigma of suffering alone and create a culture where emotional well-being is prioritized. Moreover, therapy provides an essential avenue for those who feel overwhelmed by their emotions. Professional support can create a safe space for individuals to explore their pain, equipping them with the tools to articulate their feelings and work through them in a constructive way. As we ponder how to adapt these ancient practices to our modern lives, it's also crucial to acknowledge the different forms grief can take. Life challenges us with various sources of trauma, from personal loss to societal issues, and each requires a unique approach to healing. Acknowledging the diversity of trauma is essential, as it allows for a more nuanced understanding of how we process pain in our individual journeys. As we reflect on our personal experiences and the shared experiences of others, we can draw inspiration from the past while fostering a present and future where pain can be expressed and transformed. Through collective storytelling, support networks, and modern rituals, we can challenge the notion that suffering must be silent. Instead, let us embrace the power of communal healing and the cathartic release that comes from voicing our pain. By doing so, we break free from the silent loop of modern trauma and step into a more connected, resilient human experience. Together, we can learn to honor our pain and give it the space it needs to be expressed, understood, and ultimately healed. In ancient times, lament psalms held immense power, beginning with raw, honest complaints rather than polite requests. These psalms start with bold cries like Psalm chapter 22, which declares, "Why have you abandoned me?" and Psalm chapter 88, crying out, "I am overwhelmed with troubles and my life draws near to death." These opening lines are anything but gentle. They are expressions of profound anguish and protest. The significance of these expressions lies in their ability to resonate deeply with the human experience, particularly in the context of trauma. When trauma strikes, the brain's alarm center, known as the amygdala, activates. It sends urgent signals indicating danger, prompting us to either fight or flee. However, in the complexities of modern life, we often find ourselves unable to physically combat the source of our distress or escape from it. Consequently, this pent-up energy becomes trapped within our bodies, leaving the nervous system in a constant state of high alert. This unresolved tension worsens when we suppress our feelings, creating a vicious cycle of emotional turmoil and stress. Neuroscience supports what ancient artists and poets have long understood: you cannot heal what you refuse to feel. The act of naming and voicing our pain is the initial step toward liberation. As we articulate our suffering, our brains begin to transition from survival mode. Research indicates that simply labeling our emotions, saying, "I am angry, I am scared," or "I am devastated," can reduce the intensity of those feelings. This acknowledgement lowers stress hormones, indicating that expressing our pain is not a sign of weakness, but rather a neurologically sound and healing response. The ancient Lament psalms gave individuals permission to voice their truths and confront their pain openly. They serve as powerful reminders that expressing dissatisfaction with one's circumstances is not only acceptable but necessary. By proclaiming, "This is not okay," or "I am not fine," individuals provide their nervous systems with the release it desperately needs. In essence, these psalms functioned as a release valve, offering a pathway out of the cycle of distress and chaos. This process of protest and acknowledgement is crucial for healing. Suppressing emotions can lead to a myriad of physical and psychological issues, reinforcing the notion that feelings must be felt and expressed. The journey through trauma is arduous, yet the act of vocalizing pain provides an essential step towards recovery. It validates our struggles and begins the process of untangling the complex web of emotions. The ancient texts highlight a timeless truth, that in expressing our grievances and discomforts, we reclaim our agency and foster healing. The ability to articulate our pain opens the door to not just personal healing, but community healing as well, as others who share similar experiences feel seen and understood. In contemporary settings, it's vital to acknowledge that the echoes of these ancient psalms continue to have relevance today. They remind us that our feelings matter, and that voicing them is a powerful act. Engaging authentically with our emotions enables us to break free from the constraints of trauma, allowing space for healing to occur. We are encouraged to embrace our discomfort, to articulate our struggles, as they are not signs of failure, but rather signals leading us toward growth and recovery. In conclusion, the lessons embedded in the Lament Psalms are clear. Protest is a necessary aspect of the human experience. By understanding the role of our emotions and giving ourselves permission to express them, we can navigate through turbulence with greater resilience. The act of lamenting, of voicing complaints and acknowledging pain, is a vital outlet that helps shift our nervous system from a place of alarm to one of healing. Thus, in shouting our truths, we not only honor our individual journeys but also connect with the shared experience of humanity. Poetry serves as a unique and powerful medium for expression that transcends the limitations of plain language. You may wonder why one would choose poetry instead of simply discussing feelings or writing a journal entry. The answer lies in the profound impact that rhythm has on our emotional and physiological states. Rhythm is inherently linked to our nervous system, providing a soothing force in moments of distress. Consider how instinctively we rock a crying baby. The motion is rhythmic, nurturing, and comforting. Similarly, a steady heartbeat can bring a sense of calm, grounding us when life feels chaotic. Music, with its rhythmic patterns, can shift our mood almost instantaneously, illustrating our deep-seated connection to rhythm as a form of communication. This bodily language carries its own significance that words alone cannot achieve. When emotional expression is intertwined with structured rhythm, a transformative process occurs within the brain. Chaos brought on by trauma starts to become organized, slowly forming recognizable patterns. The seemingly senseless experiences we endure begin to make sense as our mind seeks coherence amidst the tumult. The poetic form, particularly in the context of ancient laments, serves a purpose far beyond mere artistry. It becomes a therapeutic release. The ancient practice of lamenting was not just a way to express grief or pain, it was neurologically precise, reflecting a deep understanding of how our bodies heal. By aligning emotional expression with the natural rhythms we experience, poetry acts as a catalyst for healing. It resonates with the body's intrinsic healing rhythms, creating a harmony that facilitates recovery. Engaging with poetry helps invoke these healing rhythms, tapping into the core of human experience. It allows individuals to articulate their suffering, offering a structured outlet for their emotions. The rhythmic nature of poetry echoes our natural instincts and experiences, making it an ideal format for conveying complex feelings. In a world that often encourages suppression of emotions, poetry becomes a sanctuary where vulnerability is celebrated. Through carefully crafted verses, poets weave together fragments of sorrow, anger, and hope, creating a tapestry that resonates with others who share similar experiences. This connection fosters a sense of belonging and understanding, reinforcing the communal aspect of our struggles. Furthermore, poetry can be a form of protest, a voice that challenges injustice and inequality. Throughout history, poets have harnessed the power of rhythm and emotion to confront societal issues. The fusion of art and activism empowers individuals to raise awareness and incite change. Poetry becomes a rallying cry for those who seek to amplify their voices, using the art form to articulate the pain and frustration born from systemic oppression. Imagine the impact of a poem that captures the essence of collective anguish, transforming grief into a powerful statement that challenges the status quo. Such works not only resonate with individuals but also mobilize communities, uniting them in a shared cause. The rhythmic quality of the poem invites listeners to feel the weight of its message, stirring emotions that push them to action. Moreover, the act of writing poetry provides catharsis. It allows individuals to confront their emotions head-on, granting them the space to explore their pain and the complexities of their experiences. Poetry can bridge the gap between the internal and external worlds, articulating what often feels inexpressible. This process of exploration can lead to deeper self-understanding, allowing individuals to emerge from their struggles empowered and transformed. In essence, poetry does not merely serve as a channel for communication, it becomes a crucial element in the journey of healing and protest. By embracing the rhythms inherent in our bodies and emotions, we find a path toward clarity and connection. Poetic protest harnesses the elemental power of rhythm to challenge injustice, while also providing a means of personal healing. The profound beauty of poetry lies in its ability to resonate with the human experience, to articulate the unspeakable, and to forge connections that transcend boundaries. In a world filled with chaos and uncertainty, poetry offers hope, healing, and a means to spark transformation, both individually and collectively. Every ancient lament psalm possesses a defining moment known as the turning point, often referred to by scholars as the cellar, or the pivot. This pivotal moment marks a shift in the poem, where the writer, previously engulfed in pain, begins to observe it from a distance. It is akin to stepping back from a fire, acknowledging its presence without allowing oneself to be consumed by it. This transition represents a vital psychological shift, moving from identifying as the pain itself to recognizing oneself as merely experiencing that pain. This change in perception is crucial in trauma healing. When individuals are entrenched in their suffering, the prospect of escape seems impossible. However, by creating even a slight observational distance, they can begin to see new options arise. Allowing the body to relax and the nervous system to understand that it is safe enough to think clearly. This process does not advocate for toxic positivity or the denial of struggles. Rather, it fosters a space where healing can genuinely commence. The ancient lament psalms were deliberately structured to incorporate this turning point, guiding the grieving individual from chaos to clarity and from collapse to recovery. This intentional design highlights the importance of this transition as a tool for healing. Advancements in modern science have brought attention to a critical nerve in the human body known as the vagus nerve, which extends from the brain to the heart and gut. The condition of this nerve has profound effects on our emotional state. When it is calm, we feel secure. When activated by stress, anxiety, and overwhelm can take hold. One highly effective method for calming the vagus nerve is through rhythmic breathing and sound. Techniques such as slow, measured breathing, humming, and chanting can all contribute to the activation of this nerve, fostering a sense of tranquility. Interestingly, ancient lament psalms were designed to be sung, performed during communal gatherings where rhythmic chanting and melody created a shared experience. This collective singing acted as a reset for the vagus nerve, enabling the community to breathe in unison. As their voices synchronized, so too did their hearts, leading to a calming of the collective nervous system. The interplay between communal practices and bodily responses is not merely a whimsical notion, it is supported by biological evidence. Research on heart rate variability has shown that synchronized group breathing and rhythmic vocalization enhance emotional regulation. Ancient communities, long before the advent of scientific terminology, discovered and incorporated this truth into their sacred rituals. Their understanding of the power of collective experience and its physiological impact was significant. In summary, the turning point within ancient lament psalms serves as a crucial element in the healing process, reflecting the human capacity to observe pain from a distance and subsequently foster recovery. The structured approach of these psalms is not only a literary device but also a psychologically insightful mechanism that aligns with contemporary understandings of trauma and healing. Modern science affirms what these ancient practices have long taught, that through shared experiences of lament, communities can effectively regulate their emotional states and catalyze healing. Demonstrating the profound interconnectedness between emotion, physiology, and social dynamics. Thus, the ancient wisdom embedded within lament psalms remains timeless, offering a pathway from despair towards hope and recovery. Reminding us that even in our darkest moments, there exists the potential for transformation. One of the most striking features of ancient lament psalms is their distinctive shift from a personal focus to a communal one. They often begin with the personal pronoun, I, expressing individual anguish. The psalmist cries out, surrounded by trouble, unable to find rest. Yet as the lament progresses, the language expands, intertwining others' experiences with their own. Future generations are invoked, and the entire community is invited to share in the grief. This transformation is not a trivial detail, it represents one of the most healing aspects of the lament structure. The reason for this profound shift lies in the nature of trauma itself. Trauma often isolates individuals, whispering in their ears that no one else can truly understand their suffering. It suggests that their pain is shameful, unique, or overwhelmingly burdensome, reducing their existence to a solitary struggle with their wound. However, the moment a person acknowledges that their pain is part of a shared human narrative, something magical happens. The shame that once imprisoned them begins to dissolve. They begin to understand that they are not alone, merely one of millions across time who have endured similar burdens. This pivotal change is not merely emotional. It is neurological as well. Research into social connection reveals that feeling understood activates the same reward pathways in the brain that physical pain relief does. Being witnessed by others can literally diminish suffering. In contemporary trauma therapy, the concept of the witness is frequently emphasized. A witness is someone who fully sees your pain without rushing in to fix it or minimizing what you feel. They stand with you in your suffering and say, I see you, and I am here. For many trauma survivors, the experience of finding such a witness can mark a significant turning point in their healing journey. Ancient lament psalms served as a remarkable surrogate witness for individuals in distress. When someone recited a lament from these sacred texts, they were not merely voicing their own struggles. They were joining thousands of voices across centuries who had expressed similar sentiments. The text itself became a witness, echoing the affirmation that someone else has felt this same pain, that someone else has survived it, and that they found the courage to articulate their suffering. For individuals feeling isolated in the modern world, this realization can be profoundly healing. Recognizing that one's pain has ancient roots does not diminish it, rather, it makes the burden more bearable. It places the individual's suffering within a much larger story, one that is larger than themselves. And this recognition is where healing begins to take root, fostering connection and understanding that transcends isolation. This community of shared experience encourages individuals to voice their struggles, to transform lamentation into a collective endeavor. It invites them to reach out, to extend a hand to others who may be walking similar paths. In this shared space, healing can flourish, as collective grief transforms into strength, resilience, and ultimately, hope. It fosters an environment where individuals feel safe to express their pain, knowing they are supported by a community that understands. The ancient Psalms illustrated this beautifully, reminding us that our struggles are interwoven with those of others, not just our own. They offered a framework through which we could connect with others' experiences and create a tapestry of shared humanity. When we embrace this communal aspect, we step away from isolation and move toward healing together. Community forms the bedrock of recovery, allowing individuals to witness each other's pain and the strength that arises from shared understanding. In this sacred interplay between I and we, healing journeys intertwine, echoing the ancient laments that will continue to resonate through generations. In the journey of healing, it's essential to embrace the wisdom of ancient practices. Today, we'll explore how to weave the structure of lament into your own life, enabling you to find solace and strength in your struggles. Start by grounding yourself in honest self-expression. Allow your feelings to surface without any filters. Declare your emotions with raw authenticity. For instance, you can say, "I am angry because," or "I feel abandoned and it hurts because." This is a crucial step, acknowledging the pain in its truest form. This phase is your complaint, an opportunity to give voice to what weighs on your heart and mind. Ancient laments were never vague, they pinpointed specific grievances. Emulate this clarity by identifying who has caused you pain and what exactly occurred. Reflect on when your hurt began and the sensations in your body. Do you feel tightness in your chest, tension in your shoulders, or clenching in your jaw? Specificity is a powerful form of healing. The clearer you express your discomfort, the more your nervous system can begin to process the hurt instead of burying it. Once you've laid bare your pain, it's time to introduce a pivot in your narrative. Importantly, this is not about forced positivity or minimizing your feelings. Rather, it's about making a gentle shift in perspective. You could write, "and yet," or "despite this," and follow it with a truth, even if it seems trivial. Perhaps you realize, "and yet I woke up this morning," or, "even so, someone cares about me." This pivot doesn't erase the pain. It simply allows a slight opening for hope to coexist with your sorrow. Next, expand your thinking to include others who have walked similar paths of pain. Remember, you are not alone in this experience. Your suffering connects you to a broader human narrative. Consider phrasing it as, "I carry this alongside everyone who has ever felt." This step shifts the perception from isolation to community, highlighting that you are part of a collective struggle. In the ancient Psalms of Lament, the conclusion wasn't always wrapped in a neat bow. Instead, it was often a proclamation of commitment to persevere. Such statements might include, "I will tell this story to those who come after me," or "I will not let this be the end." This vow serves as a neurological anchor that guides the brain toward the future, rather than allowing it to remain trapped in past hurts. It acknowledges the wound without letting it define you. This commitment underscores a profound truth. You are more than your pain, and your story continues to unfold. By integrating these steps into your healing practice, you create a space for authenticity and growth. Use the ancient structure of lament not just as a tool for expression, but as a pathway to understanding and connection with both yourself and the world around you. In doing so, you participate in a healing tradition that is as old as humanity itself. As you detail your feelings, allow yourself to be messy, to feel deeply, and to express openly. This cathartic process can lead you to a place of empowerment, guiding you towards acceptance and resilience. Your journey of lament becomes a shared story, a testament to human endurance and empathy. In the end, remember that healing is not a linear path. It's filled with ups and downs, twists and turns. Embrace each moment as it comes, recognizing the strength that lies within your capacity to feel and articulate your grief. Honor yourself in this process, and know that every step you take brings you closer to a place of peace. By acknowledging your pain, shifting your perspective, connecting with others, and committing to your journey, you embrace both your humanity and the resilience that lies in shared experiences. Through this ancient practice, you not only honor your own story but also contribute to the tapestry of collective human experience, reinforcing the truth that we are all connected in our suffering and healing. 3,000 years ago, in a world dimly lit by flickering flames, people expressed their anguish through song. They did not shy away from their pain, instead, they faced it head-on. These songs were not mere whispers lost in the night. They were structured, rhythmic, and powerful voices echoing their suffering. Within their communities, these melodies served as a bridge, connecting individuals and fostering a sense of belonging. Through the simple act of sharing their emotions, they discovered a path toward healing and hope. The ancient art of lament transcends mere beauty. It functions as a neurological pathway that guides us from suffering toward integration. As these songs transformed raw protest into thoughtful observation, they allowed individuals to move from feelings of isolation into the warmth of community. Each note resonated with the shared experience of pain, reminding them that they were not alone. They transition from silence to voice, from being engulfed by their pain to standing confidently alongside it. In today's world, we often find ourselves trapped in what feels like an endless trauma loop, unable to break free from the chains of our past. Yet, the wisdom of those ancient singers remains available to us. We don't have to be confined by our suffering. There's a blueprint that has withstood the test of time, a process that is as scientifically validated as it is deeply rooted in our human experience. You can start by crafting just one honest sentence today about what you feel. Allow yourself the freedom to express your truth, however raw it may seem. When you take that first step, you may be surprised by what follows. This journey of expression can lead to personal revelations and connections you never thought possible. If you resonate with this video or find it helpful in any way, consider sharing it with someone who might also need to hear this message. Help bring the wisdom of ancient healing into modern practice. Our shared struggles can bridge gaps and foster understanding among us. It is important to cultivate a community that supports one another, as we navigate the complexities of our emotions and experiences. Additionally, I invite you to subscribe for more content that weaves together the rich tapestry of ancient wisdom with the insights of modern healing science. As we delve deeper into this exploration, we can continue to learn from the wisdom of the past while applying it to our present lives. The connection between ancient practices and contemporary healing approaches offers us invaluable tools for personal growth. I also encourage you to engage with this community by leaving a comment below. Think about what you are carrying right now and describe it in one word. I genuinely read every single response. Each contribution adds to our collective understanding and can help others feel less isolated in their struggles. As you embark on this path of self-discovery and healing, remember to take care of yourself. Your journey matters, and it is essential to be gentle and compassionate with yourself along the way. I look forward to connecting with you again in the next video, where we will explore more ways to merge ancient insights with modern practices for healing and growth. Together, we can transform our pain into a powerful force of unity and understanding. Thank you for being part of this journey with me.